All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Roosevelt Wilmot, and I'm the leader of Jamaica VMUG. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us for this, our last Jamaica VMUG meeting for the year 2021. Now, we had 2 other meetings throughout the year, and if you miss those meetings, don't worry about it. We have it on our YouTube channel, and Rudi-Ann, my co-leader, will tell you more about our social media networks a little later on. I will now move over to Tatiana, who will tell us a little bit more about what is going on with VMWARE, and she will introduce our keynote speaker for the evening, who will tell us a little bit more about security and how to secure your environment in these times, especially where we're seeing where vulnerabilities are being exploited on a daily basis. Tatiana, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Teddy. So good evening, VMUG Jamaica. Happy holidays. We had such a great year this past 2021. And as this year comes to an end, we wanted to take an opportunity to thank each one of you for whether you're one of our valued partners or customers. We wanted to take a moment to say thank you. I know it's been a challenging year for given all the dynamics. So again, just thank you again for giving us the opportunity to serve you. And today was a big day for VMWARE since we actually rang the opening bell, the New York Stock Exchange. So VMWARE has been a publicly traded company since August of 2017. And today marks the third chapter of that customer-focused innovation for VMWARE. So in going through the chapters, it's really cool. There's a blog that I'll share. It'll be in the comments section so that you could read more about it. But in summary, in chapter 1, we pioneered with virtualization. This is a groundbreaking technology that gives our customers new levels of flexibility, and it also laid the foundation for the cloud model as we rely on it today. Chapter 2, we went a little bigger and broader, virtualizing the entire data center and giving customers all the benefits of public cloud on-prem. And now we're ready for chapter 3, as the only standalone cloud company with the strategic partnerships with all major cloud vendors and leading infrastructure. We will be helping customers deliver on truly customer-centric multi-cloud vision. So we're very excited about that today. And as mentioned, we'll be sharing sort of an interactive link that will tell you a little bit about the history of VMWARE and sort of where we're going. So we're very excited for this journey and to be able to support you together. And today, it's all about security. So we'll be talking about Carbon Black. And just as mentioned, we have Ivan Anaya on the line, and he's going to be doing one of the really cool demos of like live malware and stuff that we all love. So with that, we're excited to have Ivan take it away.
Hi, and thanks. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Anaya, and I'm the security specialist for Carbon Black inside VMware. Let me just see if I can. I will take control and share my screen really quick. Thank you. And first, I want to talk about what is the current state of security. I want you to introduce to what is Carbon Black and how Carbon Black is helping customers all around the world redefining the cybersecurity posture. And then if there's any questions, if there's any concern, we can talk about later. So first of all, let's talk about what are the key challenges for security. First, we have too many surfaces that we need to defend. We also have too many silos. When we talk about security, we talk about different teams that take care of different security postures. We have network security, info security, endpoint security, cloud security, and a lot of these teams mostly work on a silo-based infrastructure. And also there's too little context. This is the result of having too many surfaces and too many silos. You cannot expect most of the time have the whole picture. You will have bits of information, bits of different pieces of an attack. And if we can simplify this, complexity is the enemy of cybersecurity. While we have a wide surface, attack surface, we will have least visibility on that. And we can make an analogy of how cybersecurity looks most of the times. Let's take and let's think. Let's imagine a building, an old building that we want to secure. What we will do, probably add some alarms, some security cameras, and maybe a fire exit. So in an event of a security event, people can evacuate in a safely manner. But all this is not built in. Most of this feature you will be just adding. You will be only putting like band-aids on trying to fix some issues, but not really the root cause of the incidents. If we talk about how security has been seen for the past years, especially when we had a perimeter that could work as our safe place, everything was secure on premise, and the workers were just in a single place. So that was a pretty solid scenario. You only have to secure that only space. You only have to secure those computers. Those computers will only be able to log in to certain services inside a location. But today is a different story. We saw in the past couple of years how everything changed. The perimeter broke, and basically users can be anywhere, and because users need to be everywhere, the business has to be agile, bringing access, adopting new cloud technologies, or giving access to the end users to different applications from anywhere. But one thing was very constant, and those are the attackers. Attackers, doesn't matter if you're talking about on-premise or mobile or next generation workers, they will always go and try to steal your information or damage your reputation. So let's see how or what's the typical incident workflow of how we prevent a security breach. We have an incident, we have an alert, we have to investigate. That usually take a lot of time. This is the ability to detect and respond can be one of the most challenging phases of when we are talking about responding to an incident. And this is because we don't have the context. Most of the times we only have an alert, but we don't really know how that impact our organization or how that will impact other systems. So once I figure out somehow how this works, I need to investigate. I need to know how far the attack goes so I can repair the damaged assets. Then I need to audit my assets so I can see if all my assets are vulnerable for the attack that I just have. And lastly, I need to prevent. And most of the times I will do this hardening, I'll do this applying security policies, probably acquire new technology. But this most of the times is just the way that is traditionally deal with attacks. So our vision in VMware is to simplify security. We want to make it simpler, just add security as a service. We need to do it faster. We have to communicate between teams, and we have to be smarter. We have to have situational intelligence. And this means bringing more context. If I'm able to have the full picture, I'll be able to respond in a faster manner. And I just need to change the way I'm dealing with incidents today. Of course, prevention is really important. This is something that we always care, but more important than prevention is how agile I am to detect and respond. I need to be able to detect those indicators of compromise. I will need to also identify the risk. This is very important because if I don't do that, I cannot be, I won't be able to secure new platforms, new applications, and all those new platforms that are becoming part of the business. For all of these different phases, we have different solutions, different features and functionalities. But we can summarize all of that on a single platform. And this platform is Carbon Black. So if we have to define Carbon Black, I would say that Carbon Black is VMWARE's security platform. It's a platform that allows us to prevent, thanks to next generation AV and device control features. It allows us to detect and respond incidents by the use of EDR and manage detection, and for sure, identify risk. We will be able to audit some of my systems so I can have deeper visibility. I will be able to identify vulnerabilities, not just the amount of vulnerabilities, but I will be able to identify the risk that those vulnerabilities have on my environment. And for sure, with this new DevOps environment, I will be also able to secure Kubernetes or containers platform. And all of these across different devices. It doesn't matter if it's Mac, Linux, or Windows. Doesn't matter if those are all physical systems, virtualized systems, or cloud systems. Carbon Black can protect all of those devices. With that, we're looking to reduce the hours that it takes to respond to an incident. 94% of the respondent incidents will improve. And also 75% less frequent reimaging of those devices that happen or that have had any incident. So if we talk and we go back to our building analogy, we in VMware identified the security as built-in, what we call intrinsic security. It's now a platform, and VMware offers a platform that it's already secure, that it's built in. You will be able to integrate today security to your infrastructure, thanks to integration with VMware, with vCenter or the vSphere, the NSX, Workspace ONE, and all those different teams. You will be able to have a built-in security. So I would like to stop here a moment and let's see how it looks on a more realistic environment. So let's start by show you how it looks.
Ivan, while you bring that up, I believe that there was a question that we had from the audience. Is Carbon Black an appliance or a cloud service?
Carbon Black, it's a cloud service. So let's do let's take a look at one of the most typical incidents that we have when we talk about security. Right here, I have a domain controller. This is a virtualized domain controller, and on my other side, I have a system that has been infected. So what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to be an attacker, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing some lateral movements to this system. What I'm doing right now, as you can see, I already inject some malware, some ransomware in those devices. I will start to inject more malware. I'm going to also inject not just ransomware, but a traditional malware. As you can see, I just start receiving some alerts here from Carbon Black that some malware was detected. So at the moment, the end user didn't need, or the administrator didn't have to do anything. The moment that the system identify, or in this case, Carbon Black identify a malware or a bad reputation file was detected, we already prevent it. Doesn't matter even if I try to double click it and run it, I won't be able to do that. Doesn't matter how many times I try, I won't be able to run this malware. Okay, so let's talk and let's see what other things I can do. Right here, I have my computer that was infected, that computer that I tried to use to do this lateral movement. Let's close this and let's do something more, some of the let's do something with trying to infect a Linux device. So right here, let's close this. And give me 1 second. What I'm going to do here is I will try to force a malware on this Linux system. What I'm going to do is just simply copy these files, and I'm going to paste it here on this directory in Linux. So if I go back to my Linux system, if I go just to make sure I'm in the same folder that I paste my malware, and I'm just going to enumerate the different attacks that I have. Now, let's go back to one other example of attacks that we have. Right here, I have a computer. It's a normal endpoint. And right here, the user just received a phishing email asking them to download the file. I have the file over here. And using this file, the end user is going to, I'm going to take control of this system, okay? So the end user receive this and say, okay, it's a new version. Do you want to update? Yes, the end user just click on update. But at the moment the end user click update, what I'm doing, I'm as an attacker, I'm opening a PowerShell session from a malicious site, and I'm going to take control of this system. So we're seeing different kind of attacks. Okay, some of them have been blocked by Carbon Black. Others, I'm going to show how Carbon Blacks can block them. But I just want to know or want to tell you what is the day-to-day of a security administrator. So right now, I'm already, as an attacker, have taken control of this device. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send some instructions, some scripting to this device, and I'm going to make sure that I have control of this device. Also, it's worth to say that this is an example of an advanced attack. This is what we call a living off the land attack. I'm not using any malware for this attack that we're seeing on the screen right now. That's why normal AV technology won't be able to detect it, because I'm using PowerShell. PowerShell is a valid tool that I will need, or that if I scan it, it's going to have a good reputation. Carbon Black uses different pieces of information. It uses the metadata, it analyzes it, and thanks to our artificial intelligence, behavioral analytics, and reputation, machine learning, we are able to identify this kind of attacks. So I'm start sending all these attacks. As you can see, I send a command or scripting to open a YouTube video. Also, I'm going to exfiltrate all the accounts in this device. And lastly, I'm going to take a snapshot or a screenshot, sorry, of what the user is seeing. So it's pretty clear that now, as an attacker, I already have full control. With this, I can do a lateral movement and start injecting malware or start encrypting different systems. So let me paste this, stop this video. Give me 1 second. And just to make sure that this is a real-time attack, I'm just going to say Mexico City time now. I'm based in Mexico City, so I just want to make sure or to tell you that this is a live attack. Okay, so we'll just wait. I also want to show you some of the alerts that I'm starting receiving here on Carbon Black. Give me 1 second. Over here, let me go to my inbox, and I want to start receiving some alerts. Okay, so right now for me it's 5 p.m., 19 past 5 p.m. Okay. And I will start to receive some of the alerts. We'll go back to this in a minute. So just to let you know, here, this is my malicious site that I used to attack. This is how I did the scripting. I can see here that I have the screenshot. I already have, and I'm working on getting the user accounts exfiltrated. So as you can see, with just a simple phishing attack, I will be able to have access to those systems. So now let's switch. Let me switch to a security administrator. Right now, what we're seeing is Carbon Black. As I said, this is a VMware security platform. This is a cloud-based platform. I won't need to install a console on-premise. I don't need to provision a database or some storage. Everything is cloud-based, okay? Carbon Black is SOC 2 certified, so it complies with the highest standards for a security data center. So here we're seeing my dashboard. I will be able to see all the alerts. I will be able to see all the malware and all the malicious activities that I have prevented. I can see my top applications and assets that have triggered more alerts. Also, I will be able to see not just the status of my systems, but I also be able to see some vulnerabilities based on the risk. I also have access to what we call threat reports. Give me 1 second. I think the video just started. I can hear Rick Astley over here. Let me close that.
I have a question for Rudi-Ann and Teddy. Have you guys ever seen live malware before?
No, not me. This is pretty interesting for me watching this right now.
Yes, I have seen it. But this is really cool though.
Awesome.
Nice. That's good to know. And yeah, that's usually how malware works. I mean, on a real scenario, all these windows will be hidden. I'm just showing this for demo purposes, but it's really easy just to hide these windows. So back to Carbon Black console. One of the most important things being a cloud platform is that we will have access to worldwide intelligence. So we'll be able to have access to pull reports about new vulnerabilities or new attacks. And on those reports, I will be able to see how a compromised system looks, how an attack behaves. I will have access to how to protect those systems with the Carbon Black different solutions. And I also have access to the IOCs. So I'm not only understanding how an attack works, I can also understand how can I prevent it, and how can I hunt for that threat. So right now or today, the ability to do threat hunting, it's really important. So let's look on my alerts. I will start seeing and I will see most of the alerts of the events that we just performed. Of course, I will be receiving emails based on different alerts. I can see that I have a lot of information right here. So let me filter this information so we can only see the alerts that are really important right now. So let's start with the one on the domain controller. This is the one that we trigger. When we're reviewing alerts in Carbon Black, we will have the ability to see what happened, I mean, the alert details, but I also will be able to see a root cause analysis of this alert. So I will be able to see how this attack worked, how or what happened during this attack. I will be able to see the different steps the attacker tried when it dropped the malware. And I also will have the ability to take some remediation. For example, I can see that here I have my 3 different files that I drop on my domain controller. So I will be able to take some actions. I can quarantine the device. What I'm going to do right now is I want to delete those applications, Right now, I want to say, okay, I know that that's malware. I know that those are malicious files. I just want to delete those. So my domain controller will be clean again, okay? And with that, I will be, I'm just going to make sure that that device is in a healthy status, okay? I will simply just delete those applications. Also, when I identify a malicious file, I will also have the ability to find its reputation. If I go and click here on virus total, I will see that what is the current reputation of this file. So I will be able to see that this is really a malicious file, or I can ask the end user to give me that a copy of that file so I can analyze it and I can determine if it's something malicious or not. So let me go back again to my domain controller. Let's log in once again. And what I'm seeing here is that the malicious files were erased. So let's go back to my alerts and let's do another remediation. What I want to do is right now, I'm going to take a look to my Linux device. It would be easier if I go right here and just go to my inventory. So right now, one of the things that I can do is I can start a remote session, a remote SSH connection. With this remote SSH, I will be able to respond to those incidents on real time, okay? Without the need to ask the user to do anything, I will be able to have that remote session. Just to let you know, I'll be coming back here. So I just want to first show you some of the alerts that I have. Okay. So right here, I just want to show you some of the alerts that I have on my Linux system. Here I can see that I send over FTP server. That's one of the protocols that use WinCP. So right now, I'm here on my Linux system. So I'm going to change to root, and it's tstmw. Right here, I can see that I have all those malicious files. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all those malicious files. Delete the underscore and delete the underscore sys. If I just click ls again, it's completely clean. Okay. If I go to my Linux, let's see, I'm just going to do lsl, and it's empty now. So I just removed that malware remotely without any need from ask or without the need for the administrator or from the infrastructure team to give me access. I can do that all using Carbon Black. And also, well, I will have access to a lot of different commands. Once I'm done, I'm just going to end my session here. Oops, no reconnect. Let me just move this aside. One of the things that we also saw is the last attack that we have on my Windows 10 device. That's the advanced threat that I'm going to analyze now. So let me look to that. And here I have the alert. I can see here that a DLL was doing some malicious network connections. I can see here all the different processes that are related to this alert. So you can see here right now that the DLL, the Excel file that we use in PowerShell. We can see these different bubbles. These bubbles represent the techniques that were used by the attacker. So if I click here on my root cause analysis, I can say, hey, I want to understand what really happened. I can see here that the end user execute Excel. Excel open a PowerShell session with PowerShell. It starts to do some scripting. I can even see what were the command lines that were invoked during this attack. So I can see here how everything happened. What I'm going to do right now is I'm not sure if this is malicious or not, so I'm just going to quarantine this device. I'm going to isolate it from the network. So after the investigation, if I decide, okay, this is not something malicious, this is part of the business, I can simply add this Excel to an approved list, so it won't trigger alerts. But if I identify that this is really malicious, I can say, okay, add it to a banned list. So I will blacklist this file and I will prevent it from running on another system. I said we can request for an upload, I can delete the application. And if I look for the reputation of this file in VirusTotal, we'll see that there's no reputation because this is not a malware. This is just a simple file. So what I'm going to review now, it's okay. I want to know, or I will wait for my, I just want to see if I already have the quarantine. It looks like it's going to, if I want to access to VMware website, it shouldn't allow me because I already sent a quarantine. My internet access is blocked. And as you can see here, in the back screen, it says a connection failure. So with that, even if I isolate my devices, sorry, I will have the ability to remediate remotely. What I did is I just started another live response session based on the information that I saw in the triage. I said, okay, Excel is the one that is causing the issue, but PowerShell is the real artifact that the attacker is using to perform the attack. So I simply took a list of all the processes that have been executed. I identified PowerShell and I just killed the process. So as simple as that, I just terminate the attack. So then again, I just finished my session and all of the different connections and all the different actions that I perform will be completely audited. So even as a security administrator, I will always have visibility on what my other administrators are doing. So this is to secure that nobody abuse of their power, if we can say so. So before on quarantine my device, I will need to assign some security policies because it's clearly that in that system, I didn't have enough protection. So as we said, Carbon Black will have, as a next generation security solution, we already have protection for known malware, for known malicious applications. But one of the most important things is that Carbon Black reduced the attack surface. So, and I mentioned this before, I can create different behavioral rules. For example, here, I can say that not only Excel, but any other Office application won't be able to invoke command interpreters like PowerShell or Python or CMD. I can create these behavioral rules so I can not only prevent those malicious behaviors, but I can also prevent 0 days attack. For example, here with Java, I'm saying, okay, Java, you cannot inject code or modify the memory of another process. So if tomorrow there's a 0-day vulnerability on Java that an attacker is trying to use to inject code to another system or to another application, I will simply deny that that behavior. This is something like hardening my applications. I will be able to make them more secure. Okay. I also have the ability to do ransomware protection. For example, here I have a rule that everything that performs like ransomware will be simply terminated. So it doesn't matter if it's a known ransomware or a command and control attack that like the one that we saw, I will be always preventing that. I have the device control. I have next generation scanners. It's very important to tell you that Carbon Black, it's a super light solution. It takes an average of 1% of system resources, talking about CPU, memory, and disk space. So it's really light. Also, I have the ability to personalize my sensor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, let's dismiss those changes. I will take my system right here. I will assign the policy that we just reviewed, and I'm going to unquarantine this device. Yeah. Well, I can do, well, these changes apply. I can also have deeper visibility of my system. One of the things that I can do is I can audit the systems. For example, I can ask what are the different Windows applications that are installed in this system. I can run that if I need to have that visibility of say, okay, I need to have visibility on the patches that are installed on those devices, or what are the users that are logging in that system. I can, Carbon Black give me access to different out-of-the-box audits that I can use on different use cases, or I can build mine. I can even have access to our query exchange, that is our knowledge base, where the community and our engineering team works together to create new use case audits. And I will have all that information here in my Carbon Black console. So if I need to have very specific information, for example, the patches, it should be the install Windows patches on my device, I will have it here. I will have that information. And more importantly, I will be also have a risk-based view. So as I said during the presentation, Carbon Black not only is preventing and detecting, but it's also identifying the risk. So I will have the ability to see not just the vulnerabilities that I have, but also what is the risk of those vulnerabilities. So I can see here that VMware venturing with Canada Security will have a risk score. This is a dynamic value, and this depends on if there's an active threat, if it's exploitable or not. And this will give me a better understanding of what are the risks in my different systems. Doesn't matter if they are VMs, if they're Windows, Linux, or Mac, if those are virtualized or endpoints, I will have that visibility here, so I can know what I need to take care of first on my systems. So let me go back to my endpoints. I'm not, it's not on quarantine device, but I can see that they already took the policy. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try to perform the tag once again. Right here, I have the Excel. If I click then again here on update, it will simply prevent it. And Carbon Black said that it prevented the attack. So that's how Carbon Black helps to prevent advanced threats. So this is how Carbon Black works. As you can see, this is the only console, the only single pane of glass for all the information. And one of the most important things is that you can even automate workflows. Carbon Black uses APIs to integrate with different solutions. We can integrate with SIEM, SOAR, syslog, or some workflows solutions that can help automate remediation process. So lastly, just to conclude, Carbon Black, as I said, enhance workflows, increase visibility, and amplify investments. That was Carbon Black, and how Carbon Black can help us not just protect, but give us visibility on different surfaces. I was Ivan, and if you have more questions or any doubt, let me know, and I will go back to Tatiana. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much. I think I get a kick out of looking at all this malware because it just it makes me more vigilant on everything I open. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I know that there were some questions, so I'm just going to go ahead and read them out loud. Big thanks to Waldemar Pera, who's been answering those questions for us. But just wanted
yeah. But we have 3 questions pending in the chat. I prefer Ivan respond that question. The chat.
Okay.
Ivan. You have 3. The last
3. The last 3. Are the policies applied at user level or computer level? Those are applied at a computer level. If a user use dark web browsers like Tor, yeah, we can monitor that activities. We have already pre-built IOCs that can identify, for example, the use of Tor or other dark web browsers. So yeah, we can identify that. So you will have to go to a system to remove it. It says that on the Linux, sorry, in the Linux environment, you will have to go to the system and remove the thread. We can, at this moment, yes, we need to do that remotely, but good news, we are releasing a new, an enhanced or a new version for Linux prevention on February, so stay tuned. This will integrate behavioral protection for Linux systems, and this will include also the ability to delete remotely and automatically malware or any other threat based on signature or reputation in Linux systems. I think who has access to this console? I mean, you define the users, and thanks, Valdemar, for answering. But you can create different users. You can even activate two-factor authentication. You can define different roles. So if you want to give access to an operator and just want to give him just visibility to some of the different controls, you can do that. You have the ability to personalize those access, okay?
Ivan, to follow on one of the questions that was asked about remoting into the Linux system, is the application also able to remote into the Windows systems?
Could you repeat that question once again, please?
Yeah, is the Carbon Black application able to remote into the Windows systems, just like you did for the Linux systems?
Oh, yes. Linux, Windows, and Mac. Yeah, those are the same. And that's part of the basic features of Carbon Black also. But yeah.
Okay. And the last question, I saw where you showed us the Excel file that was exploited, and it called on the PowerShell and it created a bunch of other files. If you delete that Excel file from the console, would it have deleted all the files that were executed from that Excel file?
Those weren't really files. That's scripting. That's one of the advanced thread techniques, and we also call that fileless, because there's really no file in that attack. What I did is just a command control, and I just did a scripting. The only file that was used was the Excel, and the Excel was used only to open that PowerShell communication. But other than that was fileless.
Okay, great.
Oh, Ivan, I just have one follow-up with that same PowerShell, because I noticed that you were able to identify that it was a threat. I want to know if it's because of the continuous scripting from the PowerShell. Was it particular keywords that were used? How would you identify that this PowerShell script is actually something malicious going on?
Yeah, sorry. So what I heard that if Carbon Black was able to identify that scripting, was that the question? Sorry.
Yes. So it's pretty much, all right, PowerShell is safe. That's what we identified, right? So how was it able to identify that there were scripts in there that is doing something malicious? Was it the keywords used? Was it the time frame, how it was pushing out those commands? What was it that was able to alert it to say, okay, this is a threat?
Oh, got it. So Carbon Black, on each system that we want to protect, we will install a sensor or an agent. So this agent will capture the metadata of all the events, and it will send it to Carbon Black Clouds, just the metadata, not information, okay? Your files and your executes or your binary information, it's on your systems, we only send that metadata. With that metadata, in Carbon Black Clouds, there's a system that is called streaming prevention. That is a collection of different technologies, machine learning, artificial intelligence, reputation analysis, behavioral analysis. And what it does, it's take all those bits of information, it analyzes how it works, everything, all of that happens in real time. And our EDR technology can identify those. We also are aligned with what it's called MITRE or MITRE attack. This is a framework for cybersecurity specialists, and this will have access to the different techniques. So when we identify that bad or suspicious behavior, we alert it or we block it, depending on the policies that you have defined. Yep.
Only one more question. All right, because you said the policies that we would define. So out of the box, you would have some generic policies, yes. So would it be that we would have to define that it would look for this, or it would be something that would come with it by default?
Yes, but out of the box, sorry, and thanks, Rudy. Out of the box, you will have predefined policies. You have 3 policies, a monitor policy that is just to give you visibility, and a standard policy that it's like a base. Most of the times it's enough to protect system. And you have what we call an advanced policy. This is for critical systems. You can clone it and you can create your own, as many, depending on which use case that you want to apply. But then again, we have a lot of information in our knowledge base that can help you, and even we can import policies to your system. You can ask for a support team to help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Well, were there any further questions, Waldemar, on the chat, or I think we're all caught up?
No, I think it's covered our question, and some points Ivan explicit what is the man's work. Thank you, Ivan.
Thanks to you.
Okay, so all right, Tatiana.
I was going to hand it over to you. You read my mind.
Okay, all right.
I didn't want to wear the silly hat, so I was the only one that.
That's okay. I mine's there.
Right.
Imaginary.
We
Okay.
put it on Zoom, right? The filter.
Yeah, there's a filter. We should have put on the filter.
I think that somebody needs to work on that.
Yeah, next
for
time,
next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ivan, it was really good. The presentation was so good. Witnessing the whole attack, as Tatiana had said, it really makes you more aware of what you're clicking when you're going through this space. So I really thank you. Really appreciate the presentation, the demo, and answering the questions so easily for us. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So we have come to the end, and this is the last session for us for this year from the Jamaica VMUG community. We thank those who have come to our sessions throughout the year. We really appreciate it. You can connect with us on our social media. We have Instagram, we have YouTube, Twitter. We also have a LinkedIn page that you can follow as well. So happy holidays, everyone. Take care. All the best for 2022. And that's it from me.
All right. Happy holidays.
Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.